Former Patriots assistant coach Jerry Schuplinski may no longer be coaching New England's quarterbacks. But before he left to take the same position in Miami, he could speak as well as anyone about how the Pats pick their signal callers. Prior to Super Bowl LIII, Schuplinski spoke to MassLive about New England's process of evaluating quarterbacks. A year after it was believed the Patriots would draft Tom Brady's successor in the first round of a loaded draft class, the search for Brady's replacement continues this offseason. Thankfully for New England, while Brady will turn 42 this summer, he's yet to show his age on the field. Perhaps the Pats will wait another year to draft his replacement. Maybe they won't. Whenever they make their move, there are two traits they will have identified in that quarterback who, outside of the physical fundamentals of the game, it's the intelligence factor and the commitment factor it takes to be successful, Schuplinski said. It's not just about knowing our offense and knowing our playbook. It's more so knowing the defense, what they're doing, how are they aligning, what kind of information we can gather from the defense, coverage indicators and things of that nature, and how we can use that information and use their strengths and weaknesses to execute better, in order to determine whether a prospect possesses the necessary makeup. New England first identifies the incoming rookies who meet their baseline physical criteria and meets with them individually. Coaches and/or scouts run them through a rigorous test on the whiteboard covering the big picture and minutiae of offensive and defensive concepts. Questions are fired rapidly to create a pressured, "What's important to us is we need to put them through a pretty decent grind when we meet with them. We need to put them through some stuff. It doesn't necessarily have to be their plays, per se, but we want to teach them something and see how they learn it," Schuplinski said. Teach them something, then test them on it, and see how their retention is. And that's usually a relatively good indicator. It doesn't tell us automatically whether this guy's got it, but we'll know if he doesn't have it. And if he does, we'll know he has a chance. Essentially, the Pats must know whether must be a coach on the field. For 17 years Brady has been under center, and on top of route adjustments, protection changes, full play audibles and more. He's also been the offense's unquestioned leader, another non-negotiable part of the job. You want to get a feel for how the guy is as a leader, but it's hard to tell in an individual setting all the time, Schuplinski said. So you've got to try to talk to different coaches or teammates. You might work out as well to get that feel. The last quarterback to pass every test and become a Patriot was former LSU quarterback Danny Etling. Schuplinski scouted Etling in person roughly a year ago, and then last April New England took Etling in the 7th round of the NFL draft. A long shot to make the 53-man roster all summer, Etling eventually stuck on the practice squad. The reason Etling remains comes back to the foundational traits Schuplinski seeks in every prospect he once studied as a member of the Patriots. Every offseason, I felt like he was pretty smart and had a great work ethic, and then when we met with him, he verified a lot of the stuff mentally, Schuplinski said. And then when you're able to see him throw a little bit, I thought that was good, too. Whenever Schuplinski or another Patriots coaching or scouting assistant believes in a prospect, he bring the player's name to Bill Belichick. Last spring, Schuplinski conveyed to his boss there was enough of a pass in Etling for the franchise to build upon and coach into a legitimate NFL player. So far, so good. Etling's work ethic's been great. He hasn't let us down. This doesn't always happen, but he's a guy we're feeling like we might have had during the draft process, in terms of his work ethic, and it's who he is, Schuplinski said. It's likely New England will be looking at less of a project when it drafts the next face of the franchise. Of course, that call won't be up to Schuplinski's replacement or a scout. It's all on Belichick, who was once persuaded to draft Brady by another Patriots quarterbacks coach, the late Dick Ribine, and will pull the trigger on his successor after opening the floor to all input on a move that will change the franchise forever. At the end of the day, we're all responsible for reporting back what we see. And that's one thing that I really respect about Coach. He wants a good dialogue, Schuplinski said. He wants to know maybe not just strengths and weaknesses but why you saw what you saw and how he compares to other guys. That kind of stuff. It's a good back and forth, and then ultimately it's your responsibility to give your opinion.